Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and we are absolutely pleased to have one of our finest educators in the studio with us today, and that is Principal Kristi Hunter Clark of Chollas Mead Elementary in the San Diego Unified School District. How you doing, Kristi?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me here.
So how long have you been involved in education?
Ooh, it's hard to say. About 18 years now in the teaching field and the administration field, but prior to that, I was a volunteer and a paraeducator and worked in Parks and Recs for years prior to that.
All San Diego?
Not in San Diego, no.
Where were you?
Actually, I was in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Until about 4 years ago this week.
Really?
San Diego Unified decided to bring me over.
How cool. So they went out, did they interview you in Phoenix, or did you come out for the interview?
I came out for the interview. I did.
How'd they find out about you? That you're just amazing. Were you a principal and administrator back in Phoenix?
I was an administrator.
Yeah.
I had a very large campus, mostly refugees. I had 1,400 students with 37 languages.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was about time for my family and I to move, and started putting my name out there, and never thought it would go as fast as it did, but they called me a couple weeks later and brought me over.
Right. And so they right to Chollas Mead, correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, what's the student population at Chollas Mead right now?
A little over 600.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it flattening? Is it going down? Is it going up?
We continue to go up.
That's fantastic. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. What do you attribute that to?
The dedication of my staff. Yeah, and the passion that we have. We have a lot of kiddos with disabilities, and we service kiddos from infant up to 5th grade. And once they're on our campus, they don't want to leave us, so they end up choicing in and staying with us and bringing their siblings along too.
No, that's great. Now, are you a TK to 5, or you go up even higher, or pretty much to 5th grade?
So we go up to 5th grade.
Right.
Like I said, we service kiddos as early as birth.
Right.
If they have some disabilities that need to be dealt with, and some early intervention. But our actual enrollment is a UTK through 5th grade.
Right. So talk about this phenomenon. Not much of it's really a phenomenon. It's been around for quite a while, but it's getting a lot of attention now on community schools. And you folks just got a nice grant, did you not?
We did. We got a wonderful grant.
Yeah. Talk about community schools and what that means for those folks who don't quite get that concept.
Sure. So community schools is actually a partnership with our teachers union through SDEA. And the teachers have to really see the priority that we have at our schools. And my union rep had come to me about it a few weeks prior to the application closing. And he mentioned to me, have you thought about it? And I'm like, well, I have been, but it's a lot of work.
Right, it is.
We got to write the grant. But I think we're a great site for it. So community schools, it could range for anything that you may need. If your population is military, maybe you need some military resources to come in and help support the kiddos that are often moving from site to site, state to state, country to country.
Right.
In our case, we really, over COVID, just really established ourselves to be the center of the community, the resources, the hub. And we kind of sit in a weird population where, 805 is running straight through our community.
Right.
We're right on Market Street. There's not really any houses around us. We have the Mount Hope community and the Choice View community branching together. And so we are very much in the center of a large disadvantaged, disproportionated community.
Right.
So with this grant, we thought, how can we get somebody to help us partner with people that are ready to bring in some resources for our schools.
Right. Would there be like health resources? Would there be maybe for the parents job training or skills or whatever the case may be? And the whole idea of the community. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world because the schools, in many cases, are the hub of that area, and a lot more goes on than just teaching, which is so important to say the least. So, will that be those types of activities be going on?
Yes. So the way that we wrote our grant was we really are focusing in on our multi-tier systems of support. And a lot of people are like, well, that's a buzzword that's been going around for a while, and we don't really know what that is. So we are looking at resources for the community, the families, the parents, healthcare. I mean, something that's just so simple to us, but in our situation, reputable grocery stores, health clinics. So bringing in some of those mobile health vans to come on site, parent training, parent resources to apply for jobs, write resumes, learn English, look at what the pathway is to get their citizenship or their visa. And then on top of that, how do we meet the basic needs of the families? Food insecurities, housing insecurities, so that the teachers can get back to teaching and really hitting the academics and the social and emotional of our students.
Right, yeah. And we're chatting with Kristi Hunter Clark. She's the principal of Chollas Mead Elementary. I'm Drew Schlosberg, as you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, these beautiful studios here in the Scripps Ranch. Mission Fed's been doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. And, in those aspects of it, listen, every little bit helps, whether it's, maybe some, vouchers for shoes, whatever the case may be. Where I used to work, the Union Tribune had a Union Tribune shoe fund since 1935, believe it or not. But, when you have that taken care of, now you can concentrate on that $30 to go to X, Y, and Z. And if you've never been in that situation, you don't know how critical that is. How much do you really weigh on volunteers in the community to help you out?
Oh, the volunteers are it's the rubber that meets the road.
Right.
If we don't have our volunteers, our teachers, they definitely step up, especially during COVID. They were doing home visits. We raised over $10,000 worth of gift cards to make sure that our families
That's huge.
Yes, they were getting their basic needs met. And that has continued on. So volunteers coming in and helping, we have a great volunteer base because it allows the teachers to get back to what their job is, and that's really just meeting the needs of our students.
Right. And, most of the volunteers, the parents, or is it like maybe even, some businesses in the area that are helping out, or people that had gone to Chollas Mead when they were younger, or schools in that area, and so forth, or all of the above?
All of the above. We have parents that really want to participate in their child's education. They're there every day, willing to do whatever we ask them to do. We have a church group that comes in, some young volunteers from outside of the state. They actually come in during the summer and spend time in beautiful San Diego.
Right.
But last summer, they did some of our dirtiest jobs in cleaning out and painting and getting the school ready for the students to come back. We also have prior students from high schools coming to volunteer and do some of their community schools or community service hours. So it's just really and truly, Chollas Mead comes together and keeps the bind across the whole community.
Right. Now, who does it feed into? What school do you guys feed to?
We feed into MTM, which is our Millennial Tech Middle, and then from there into Lincoln High School.
To Lincoln, right. Exactly. And so forth. So talk about that relationship and that pathway. I imagine you work pretty closely with the principals and the staff of both of those schools.
So one of the wonderful things that has happened is Millennial Tech Middle actually was on the phase 1 of community school. So they're in their first year of the grant, and Lincoln High School is now going to be part of the second year of the community school. So the principals and I have sat down together and really determining how do we mainstream our community schools so that way it's clear across the board. There's lots of vertical alignment there, and bringing some of our students back to Chollas Mead or sending Chollas Mead over to MTM so that they can experience what each one of those levels look like.
You work with Stephanie Brown at Lincoln?
Stephanie Brown and Melissa Argel.
Yeah, they're the best. Yeah. Stephanie worked for the Classroom of the Future Foundation as well, and she was our Principal of the Year last year, by the way.
Awesome.
And she does spectacular work, and she's been involved with our College and Career Pathways Summit for the last 2 years as well on this. Let's get to the teaching and learning on this aspect of it. How much of the students are ELL? A lot of ELL students, I imagine. How many different languages are taught as well? You mentioned you were at a school, 37 different languages when you're in Phoenix or something like that?
In Phoenix, yes. Yes.
But listen, we have the same issues and challenges, but certainly not tough to overcome when you have everybody rowing in the same direction. Talk about that.
Sure. So when I first applied out here, I thought I was going to either Man Middle or Fay Elementary were open, and they had the same population, but so glad I landed at Chollas Mead.
Right.
Very blessed. At Chollas Mead, we are 80% Hispanic population, and then we are 44% English language learners.
Right.
Something that we're trying to battle and we just can't get over this hump right now is our chronic absentee.
Yeah.
So currently we're averaging at about a 46% of our students are chronically absent. So that means that they're missing 10% or more of the school year. And that's a large barrier, because each day that they're missing out the opportunity to learn. And that's where we're hoping our community schools bringing that in and just allowing for the basic needs: dental, hygiene, doctor's visits, vaccine clinics can come into the school and service them at school, so that we're not seeing kids having to stay home and miss out on opportunities to learn.
We come back from break. I want to talk a little more about that with absenteeism and so forth, and what are some of the things that maybe the public can help with, in that aspect. As we know that 182 school days, of course, and people think that's it. I said, yeah, multiply that by 4 billion hours a day, and then then that's how many hours they work, and that's not even counting during the summer months as well when they prep for their other components. I always maintained that I was honored to work for San Diego Unified way before you were born. This was as a curriculum developer at the central office. But, listen, I just admire the fact when you close that door for 182 days and what goes on and what you had planned here just got blown up because 55 different things happened in it. The public really, I think, needs to experience what's going on campus.
Absolutely.
And not just to be a principal for a day. I mean, you really need to be on there. And I know you have a volunteer, core that works with that. We can talk about that as well. And we always save some time in the second half of the show. Kristi, what can our listeners do to support your efforts? So give some thought to that too, all right?
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
You bet. We're chatting with Kristi Hunter Clark, principal of Chollas Mead Elementary. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing terrific things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union here in these wonderful Mission Fed studios in Scripps Ranch. And Mission Fed has been a wonderful community partner for more than 60 years. Honored to be chatting with Kristi Hunter Clark, principal at Chollas Mead Elementary School in the San Diego Unified School District. We were talking about absenteeism right before break. Was that exasperated by the pandemic and it just is still here, or that was a challenge even before?
So I will say it was a challenge before.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, phenomenally, we had a goal in the year of 2020 to hit 95% was our goal.
Wow.
I will tell you, the week prior to school shutdowns, we hit 97%.
Congratulations. That's huge.
It was something, it was huge. It was in March. It was, a week leading up to the pandemic. And then we went into school closures. I will commend my staff. They had contacted every family except for 2 families that we could not find right after school closures to inform them of what was going on and keep them connected to the school. So huge props to them. During the pandemic, we had high success rates with kids getting online and learning. And, my site was very active in finding them in the community and going door to door. But once we got back from the pandemic, per se, or school opening,
right.
Many of our kiddos live in multi-generational households.
Right.
So the fear of the pandemic did definitely impact us. Or we went into 10 days of quarantine, and then if somebody else in your home has it, now you have to go 15 days of quarantine.
Right.
So automatically they were adding up those absenteeisms, and chronic absenteeism was skyrocketing across the district. It wasn't just in our community, but we definitely continue to see it now. It's almost as if school's optional for some, and we have to keep telling them, no, it's time to come back.
Right, exactly. No, it doesn't work that way. And talk about, and all the schools were involved in this. And one of the organizations I work across from, the Future Foundation I mentioned earlier, we got a $500,000 grant from the San Diego Foundation so we could help provide, devices and, different types of internet connectivity to the schools and so forth. And especially in your area as well, I imagine that all of a sudden you're not at school and, whoa, how are we going to do this? Okay, well, you have computers at the school, but do the people have them at home, or do they have connectivity at home, and so forth? Talk about how you manage that. Not easy.
No. So March 17th, I had my first staff meeting in school closures, and we're all on Zoom, and we're thinking, how are we going to do this? We got to get to our kids, and however we react, they're going to react.
That's right.
And in that staff meeting, we decided one thing that families have are devices. They have cell phones.
Right.
We know that everybody has a cell phone. We know everybody has connection to YouTube. So on March 17th, we started our first YouTube channel.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, so we're kind of the pioneers there.
How'd it go? Is it still going?
It's still up and going. There's still a couple thousand views on it. I don't think any of my teachers have posted many videos after about April 12th when devices started rolling out and hotspots were being delivered. My staff was picking up hotspots from central office and going and delivering them to families because the connectivity in Southeastern just was not at the bandwidth that we needed to service all of our kids.
That's right. And on this, and of course, one of the most difficult was when my daughter's a teacher in the Poway School District and trying the hybrid. Okay, I got 15 kids on Zoom and 15 in the classroom, and I want to do a swan dive, and not here on this aspect of it. Did you have any of the hybrid learning going on as well?
We did.
Yeah.
We had some of our folks that decided, we had some of our paraeducators actually step up and go, hey, we want to first bring back some of our kids that we're losing track of. And we did a soft opening.
Right.
And our paraeducators came back and our teachers stayed home and taught online. And then phase 2 came in April. And then we did half the class was here, half the class was at home. It was funky.
Right. But you know what's interesting about that, Kristi, and I'd love to hear how you guys managed it. We've interviewed 4 zillion people. Obviously, I've been doing this show since 2007. And, when you talk to people that how did you manage during the pandemic, and everybody had different stories. A lot of people had similar stories. But I always asked them, what did you learn that, wow, I learned I should be doing this during the pandemic, and it has actually saved me a bunch of money, whether it's, Zoom and people can work at home, or they learn to do X, Y, and Z. Did that happen to you folks as well?
I don't know if it was that we saved money in any way, but we did. I always say COVID for us was a blessing in disguise.
Right.
And what I mean by that is it was our looking glass into our children's lives and our everyday living. I had some teachers call me up. Did you know that so-and-so lives in a 1-bedroom apartment and there's 4 kids and, mom and dad sleep in the living room? And yes, I did know that, but thank you for telling me. And I'm glad that you had the opportunity to experience that. Or, just really, really getting a feel of, or they're going and doing home visits and realizing this is the first time I've driven around this community or through the community. So when we came back, we had a lot of compassion, a lot of empathy, a lot of how do we go above and beyond to meet those kids where they're at.
Right.
And that, again, when we go back to chronic absenteeism, we got to look at, what barriers and obstacles are set up for our students and how do we break those down? Is it the parent? Is it that they don't have rides to school? Is it's raining and they have to walk 1.5 miles across Mount Hope Cemetery to get there?
Right.
So we definitely had to take a step back and go, wow, our reality is not their reality. And we need to make sure that we embrace their reality.
Yeah, without question on that. So what would you say that has been the biggest surprise, the pandemic? I mean, you're young. When you get to my age, you'll go, my goodness, well, how did 5 years get away from me, for God's sake? But it's over 3 years since the pandemic.
Yes.
It seems like wasn't that last week? And so forth. As you look back and say, boy, we've accomplished a lot, okay? What are some of the top things that come out of your mind that since that March 17 day, whatever the case may be, in 2020, to where you are now on Cinco de Mayo in 2023?
Writing this community schools grant was an eye-opener because you forgot what all you did. And then now it's in one place and you're looking at it going, wow, we really, really did it. And Teresa Miller, who's definitely a mutual friend of both of ours, Drew.
Correct.
And she actually was a huge supporter of me, like reaching out and checking in. How are you and your community doing? How are the kids? How are the parents? And one of the larger events that took place was Christmas time. The holidays rolled around in 2020, and Teresa helped us reach out to her communities around my area, and we were able to get $10,000 worth of gift cards to get to families.
That's huge.
We got a toy for every single student in the school plus their siblings. We got warm blankets for every family, pancake breakfast, and we did drive-thrus. And those that couldn't make it through the drive-thru, we went out to the homes and delivered to the homes. But every family had at least $250 to spend at a grocery store to get food, Amazon gift cards to get something a little extra for their family. So that was a huge event that took place. And then the following month after that, we had a family that was living in their car for quite some time, and they had been rehoused. The child was coming to school, though, and he was falling asleep. This was during our soft opening, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. Now you're not sleeping in a car with your siblings. You have a house. Well, we don't have furniture. So my staff band together, and we got beds and couches and went and delivered and refurnished their entire home. And the community really came together. I lived in Kensington at the time. I put something on Next Door Neighbor, and everybody was willing to help. And it restored humanity for me.
Well, and you think about that one family that you helped, and there's many family stories like that. But it's not just that family. Now you've helped them and their siblings and their cousins and their aunts and their uncles, and it just works, exponentially, on this. So to that note, how can our listeners help you? Can they go to your website? Can they contact you directly? Send up smoke signals? What's the best way they can help you?
That's a wonderful question. I haven't thought that far ahead, Drew.
Okay.
But I would definitely love for the listeners to reach out to me, Hunter-Clark at sandy.net, or go to our website and email me directly. But we're always looking at ways, how do we motivate our students? How do we motivate our parents to get their kids to school? Some of the things that we've been thinking about is, well, we've been doing these monthly student awards, like Slime the Principal if you're here, perfect attendance for the month, or pie the principal in the face, or throw a water balloon at your favorite teacher. So those have been working, but oftentimes we're not getting down to in the elementary level. Sometimes it's the parents.
Right.
And how are we motivating the parents that works all night and got home and just don't feel like getting back in the car to take their kids to school, or walk that 1.5 miles to get to school down Market Street? So we're brainstorming, how do we dig a little deeper to get to our parents? We've been doing sympathy interviews and asking, like, what do parents need?
Right.
What is it that's going to help get them? So sometimes it's just transportation. They don't have the money to reload their MTS card, or they're out of gas.
Yeah, but see, that goes so much further. And, or they need some books, or they need shoes, you know.
Every little thing helps. I'm telling you. Just arts and crafts kits. Fleet Science Center came in and gave us some craft kits to send home with parents, and they were thrilled to do it with their kids.
Right.
But just that time and that bonding and really connecting the entire community back to the school.
Well, let's do this. If you're willing, I'd love to have you come back on. And why don't you bring a parent, advocate, and maybe a student, okay?
All right.
And, someone that's done some stuff pretty cool and likes to speak and all that. We have a lot of students on the show. And matter of fact, we gin up a lot of the schools with started showing them how to do their own podcast. And AHA Academy, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They had some students on my show, and I said, you guys need to do your own podcast. Well, now they're doing it. And it just gives them a voice and all that. But let's make sure we get you back on. How's that sound?
That sounds wonderful, Drew.
Yeah, we will look forward to that. Absolutely an honor talking to you, Kristi Hunter Clark, principal of Chollas Mead Elementary, wearing her proud Padres outfit here. And as some of my listeners know, I'm a Dodger fan, sort of a woeful Dodger fan in some ways, to be honest with you, even though my Dodgers are playing a little bit better right now. So maybe I'll see you at the game. And in all seriousness, wishing you nothing but great success moving forward. What you and your staff and the parents and the students do to make our region a better place is just so wonderful. We can't support you enough, and we're going to look forward to having you back on.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it.
Again, talking to Kristi Hunter Clark, principal of Chollas Mead Elementary in the San Diego Unified School District. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.